Hello everybody, this is Floopy-Doo and welcome back to another episode of my Factorio Let's Play. For today's episode, you might already noticed that it looks a little bit different than we left off the last time. And that's mainly because one of the episodes I recorded just, well, failed to record properly, and I was unable to even open the footage anymore. Therefore, there is some progress that happened in between, and I want to show you that progress, and then I want to go into building the reactor and starting with planning of it. So what did I do? Well, I finished up, compacted that whole CoverX enrichment process into a single factory in here, which has all the decider combinators that is used. Just to simply show you, I have one decider combinator that basically looks if this chest has all the ingredients it needs. If it does not, this arm will set the filters to this chest over here, so everything get pulled over. Then there's a second arm that pulls anything that is still not in the chest, that is not in those two chests, pull from the belt. And then is also this arm, which simply just looks if there is some overflow in both of those chests, it will put it on the belt, as you can see with this part over here. And I extended that towards the 24 I have here, and that I calculated with the factory calculator, and this is now running for a bit, and I got rid of that small cell we had here, so this is out dry. It's just still running, but I moved basically everything I had from here up to there, so I leave that running for the time being. But in the end, everything, as soon as I basically have used most of the power, and before we start up the reactor up here, I will disassemble everything and integrate it into the rest. But for then, this one will work. The rest of that is just simple. We have those two belts. One is just the regular U23 235, and the other 238. The 238 is mixed then with this factory, that with the centrifuge that recycles the used up uranium fuel and puts it back in. This one is prioritized, so if there is any backlog in here, that will be used first before those factories are used. Then this output is fed on a two-sided belt, one for the U238 and one the 35. This is so because the enrichment process uses 5 and gives back 2, and one surplus of 235, and therefore that process just can continue if I feed new material in. And I have a decent backlog because it's a loop around belt, which will eventually just have everything on here. I have all of these inserters set to 1, so they do not interfere. I had a problem before where this one was much bigger and it started to take out of the material here because it was too much in here. So I did that. That is just way simpler. And then what else did I do? I built the train stop and also the processing factory for the uranium fuel. Do I need to put some of those in there? Yes. That should be sufficient, so I use less and less material, which is the plan. And then I just have 2 train stops, one for the used up fuel send, one for iron ore, which will stay here probably a long time. And then we have a train for the U238, which will eventually be delivered to a weapon and factory where I build all the weapon related material like ammunition and so on. And then I have one with the U-235 which will probably go to our production of fuel cells, or the fuel cells for the train station and so on. And then we have the train that will deliver eventually to our reactors. And that's basically it. So that is the whole setup. It's just all in here. Quite easy. I have some backlog of additional trains. I decided to make it a 1-1 train instead of the 2-1 trains I have otherwise, because they are not as much needed, and so I have some backlog if I ever need it. And also I can extend that factory to produce about 4 to 5 to 6 times the amount of fuel if I would ever need it. Okay, so now let's get to the main point I actually want to work on, and this is reactor. And to get that, I will live dangerously and walk on the tracks, but I want to set up the reactor up here, and I already placed some reactor setup here. Now I want to go a little bit more into the specifics what I actually need, and therefore I will show you another site that is quite useful, and this is the Factorio cheat sheet. Especially for nuclear power. Nuclear power has some rather odd ratios regarding everything you need, and in the end I just want to make a reactor that supports me for a long time, because building reactors is tedious and, well, it's just time consuming because you need a lot of materials. So I want to go for a 2x8 scenario for the reactor, because reactor have that cool thing that if they are next to each other, they give each other a neighboring bonus, which is another reactor. So for example, if we have just one reactor, that is just a plain 40 megawatts. But if we have 2 reactors next to each other, each reactor boosts the other to perform better. So both basically are double the amount of reactors. So they produce, instead of 40, they produce 2 times 2, so the 160 megawatts. So they have double the efficiency on each. If you add another 2 to that, they all have a neighboring bonus. So a 2 times 2 is, again, each reactor has 4 times the power because they're all adjacent, or is it? Yes, 3 times the power because they're all adjacent to each other. So the best you can do would be one reactor that is neighbored on all 4 sites. But problem with that is that does not work because you can't get all the power out. You can just get the outers, and they are merely one-time bonus. So I want to go for 16 reactors. And why I want to go, if I go for 16 reactors, let me extend that list, let's say to 24. You can see after somewhere around 16, the bonus I get is starting to decrease more and more. I think you could get to here, you can get 2 times 9 or 2 times 10 would also be good, but the amount of turbines you need and so is quite ridiculous to maintain. Therefore, I opting for the 16 times 16 reactor setup, which is still 375% of each reactor, which is quite nice. 2.4 gigawatts is probably more than I ever going to need, but I still plan to expand the factory a lot, therefore it will take some time. So I think this setup will satisfy me for the rest of the playthrough for sure, and otherwise I just copy it and I have everything ready that I need. So Now, to go into more detail, what do I need? So I need a lot of water for that. To be exact, 21 pumps. I need 240 heat exchanger. I need about 413 turbines, and if I want to build tanks, and I do, I need about 200 tanks. So basically what this means, if I have tanks, this basically allows me to store power and I don't need to have them run constantly. Because one other thing that is, so a reactor consumes the fuel constantly, and I want to have those tanks just to maintain, to see, hey, the tanks have more than enough fuel in it, so I don't need to repower the reactors. So that's it. That's basically it. So I think, so what I want to do is I want to build this 2x, what is it, 2x8 setup over here, and then building, let me get back to this game so you can see, I want to build this layout here somewhere around here, and then building all the turbines over here. So I need a lot of turbines and I need a lot of other stuff. And so one thing that is also to notice, so those heat pipes, they slowly lose like heat. So if we go down to this reactor I have down here, you can see that here I have a full, right, this one has about 999.94 degrees Celsius. So is it here I already lost some, and that continues on more and more the longer the cable is. Therefore, in order to have the full efficiency, I need those 500 degrees Celsius. So I think I can have about a pipe that is about 60 or 70 long. That should be enough to keep the power. So what I want to try to do is I want to build like everything on one side. So if I do something like that, so if I do this, I can add, let me just copy some of those over here. So I copy this, therefore I should have all I need. So if I do so, if I go for, I need those 240, if I divide those by 10 rows, I would have 10 rows. I can, if I divide that by 10, so I have 24 a row. That is divided by 2, because you can do something like this and then have this on both sides. So I need 12 a piece, but I think if I have 12 in a row like that, this will just use up way too much heat. If I move that, come on, let me cut that. So that will use way too much heat in the end. And one thing I need to do is I need to surround those thing. I can also, if I have like 20 rows, I would be able to cut down those to just 5, to just 6, 12, so 6 each, so up until here. And that would be all I need. Then I just need to take that and move it one further down, I guess. Do I? No. Yeah, I could do something like that. So the problem with all of this, it's uneven, at least in the middle. So if I have those 6 and add those would account for well, so I would have each side has its own dedicated turbines. So those 200, that is, if I have 4, I'm way beyond. I'm at 48, which would actually be perfect, but I need that basically 4 times, and I also copied that way too early. Here we go, and here we go, just to keep symmetry. And then I need another 4, and now I have 192, which is not enough because I already added more than I need. So I will copy another row, and if I'm not mistaken, this is still not enough. I have another copy over here. So we have those 240, and then I just need everything in here needs to be moved together to get those 16 reactors. Those, move that in, those in even more, and then I can take that out. So this will result in those 16 reactors. One downside is now I don't have any opportunity to feed fuel in it. So I need some additional space to get fuel in this. So actually it would be better if I were to kind of diverge, although they should have plenty of power. So let me have a try how long that power reaches. Honestly, I do not exactly know how long the heat is extended until I get down to 500 degrees C. But I think it's I think it's about 70, but let's check that out. I know there is somewhere a formula on the internet to do so, but why not check it out for ourselves? We have a reactor running, therefore let's take it. So here, let me get 50 of those. Are those enough? Probably not. Let's see. Let me head down to my reactor. And let's see. So here, so it slowly increases. So you see the heat is kind of dissipated throughout the whole thing. So the longer it is, the longer it takes. So right now I have about 180 degrees here, 200. So let that be running. Yeah, I'm losing. As it takes some time to heat up. So I have quite a lot. So if I have something, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Okay, so have that one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 is one of the numbers that is I can get out. It's still over 600 degrees C, so that should actually be plenty. So I have quite some room to spare, as it seems. That one is even still up, so that will be not a problem, which is perfetto. Do you? Oh, it will get picked up eventually, which is good. Okay, so let's get back to our building. That means I have plenty of space, and in order to insert everything, I need for sure a belt. There are 2 belts in the end. I think a chest would be nice. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. A belt should be sufficient as well. So I need a belt to go on both sides, and then I need to input. So those are 16, right? Yes. Okay, so first of all, I need to. Those are good. Oh, weird. But those are way too much apart because I only need them apart by 1. Like so. And then here, would you please closer? Go and up to here, and this one should be all I need now. So I need long-reaching inserters. That is one thing. So I need especially more space again. That should not be a problem if I take those and move them down by 1, 2. So 1 to place it, another one, and then maybe another one just so I have more space. This one over 1. So actually the middle is the middle. Ish. Is it the middle? Yeah, it's off anyway, so this one should be centered. But let's see how I have to center it. So those are 4, so it has to be centered around here. Then move down another 4, so it should be somewhere along here. Do I have any material? Don't think so, but yeah. Please do stuff. Even though I will move it soonish again. Now I will just delete all of that. Delete all of this side and then have a copy of this. Well, let's do some. Yeah, well, I can have a copy like this pretty quickly in the end anyway, so I want all connected so they all share heat. Now, so that would just be everything I need to get the steam going. And that is just already a massive thing. And probably one thing I need to do is I move it further down. Maybe not. So now I need, what is it? 200 tanks. So let me place a tank down. So if this would be steam, I have a tank here and a tank here. So let me copy this all the way down here. Okay, so one of the downside is to be symmetrical and symmetrical. I need to add this, so those 2 space gap I have in here, which is annoying, but it is as it is. Why do they have to be times 7 would have been better, because then there are, but whatever. it is as it is. So we have 20 and we need 2, so we need 10 rows of those. So this, and then basically 1, 5, 160, another row. So this would be all the steam I need, which is nice. Quite a lot of steam. And one good thing I'm going to do is, because they are off, I move them in one from this side and in one from this side. So they're all connected, so I can just take everything I need out of those pumps and pump it into here. Now we need the next step, which is 413 steam turbine. So 10 rows at 40 would do the trick, but that's a lot of space. So let me again copy this over here. I did some testing off camera, and the downside is they are the same size, right? So I could just have like steam engines right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. 4, 5. So now we have 20. So we can add some more onto here. Again, I move them. Panda. Here we go. Here we go. So right now we have, is it 10 already? It's 9, so another one. Line those. Ow! Oh. Everything is botched. So let me just, one thing I want to do anyway is clear all those, and then I can add some landfill here nonetheless, because I'm pretty sure I like how it is set up, more or less. It can be deleted, and I will just fill up everything in here. So let's say, how many do we have? 240, so 280. So I need another, so those are 200, I need twice this amount, so that would go about here, and then I need another 13, right? Why not just go symmetrical, and it's another 10. So that would be another 20. So whatever. Well, I can kind of close. I don't need 24 down each. So 16, 6 down each. We're at 14, so that should be plenty. And that would be our full setup. As you can see, it uses a lot of space, and I need to move water in here from up here probably. And I also need to move the steam all in here. But I will do so off camera. I will also move this wall to another location. Probably just extend it all the way here, clear out some of the camps, and then we have the full setup up here. And then I still need to decide where I put all the train stations that are required. Probably no idea where. We'll see. But that's something I'm gonna do off camera. I hope you enjoyed the episode. It was informative. If you want to know anything, please leave a comment. If you liked it, leave a like. And I would very much appreciate if you subscribe to my channel to help me grow. So, nonetheless, see you in the next one.